this morning, we are talking about sex and how to deal with sexual dysfunction in men.
Serving all of San Diego, this is your Fox 5 News.
By the way, good time right now. Moms and dads, get the kiddies out of the room. We're talking about adult subject matter. Now, men often suffer in silence when it comes to sexual problems that they may experience. Dr. Goldstein, Director of Sexual Medicine at Alvarado Hospital, and sex therapist Dr. Rose Hartzell, joining us now. We're talking about common causes and common solutions. Good morning, first of all. Let's talk a little bit more about how men can recognize that their sexual desire may be lower than what you would expect from seeing movies and television shows and what people, I guess, tell you should be feeling, I guess. How do you explain this?
Well, first off, erectile dysfunction has finally been recognized as a legitimate sexual problem, but there's lots of other sexual dysfunctions that men suffer from, one being low sexual desire.
So what is the new information that we're getting? Because you don't, I mean, a lot of times, this is probably still fairly taboo. Guys probably don't want to admit that they have low sexual desire. So where did this come from? What happened?
So a new journal, article, Journal of Sexual Medicine, the first really study of this condition, low interest in men. And basically, yeah, it's really cool. And the 26% of men will report that they have sexual problems. Actually, it gets reported by the partner that they have more sex interest than the men, 26% of times.
And that's a quarter of men. That's a fairly large number. That's probably, was that expected in the study, or is that above what you guys thought you'd get?
I don't think it was expected to be that high, but 1 in 4 men are not the Energizer bunny that they all think they should be.
Right.
So there's a series of biologic issues that came out in the article and psychologic issues, and you'll do the psychologic and then we'll do the biologic.
Okay, tell me a little bit more about this, because a lot of the psychological, a lot of people say it plays a big role.
There's lots of different things that can contribute to low sexual desire, including childhood sexual abuse, religious conflicts. So if you're raised, you shouldn't have sex before marriage, you shouldn't have sex before marriage. When you finally do get married, it could be hard to kind of turn that switch off. There's also if the partner has a health problem, if a man has a fetish that he might not be comfortable sharing with his partner, that could lead to low sexual desire. So there's lots of different issues.
Wow. Let's say guys are out there, they're listening to this, and they kind of maybe feel like, hey, maybe they're talking about me. When does somebody know if this is really an issue? Basically, normal versus not normal.
So when it causes bother in the relationship, the woman is saying, oh, what's going on here? Do you not love me? So let's go over some of the biologic causes, because they're important. There are medications that men take. They don't realize that there are sexual side effects. So the first medication that men take sort of in their 20s and 30s is the hair loss drug. There's a drug called Propecia that encourages hair loss because it lowers a specific hormone in the bloodstream. That hormone is very important for sexual activity. It's the highest strength of testosterone that the drug lowers. There are men who have anxiety and depression, and doctors put them on drugs called SSRIs, not as frequently as women. Women are more often to be taking those, but SSRIs will lower the interest. There are men who have erection problems and premature ejaculation, other sexual health problems, who channel their frustration about that sexual health problem saying, I'm not interested. And then there are people who have general, like hypertension, high cholesterol, heart disease, who take medications to cure the heart disease, but they actually drop libido.
All of that can affect you. Is there an age range that we're looking at? Because we've always heard about how the man's sexual peak is late teens, early 20s. A woman's sexual peak, perhaps, I think, late 30s, early. Does that affect this at all?
Is there an age? You would be surprised that it runs the gamut.
Really?
We see men young and old.
Especially the young people on this hair loss drug, big issue. For people who don't know that hair loss drugs can do this, please let this be an important information for them.
When do men actually recognize this? Is it once, obviously, in a committed relationship? Does it get to marriage? When do men recognize that there may be something, or maybe their desire is not where it should be?
So we see men who recognize this because they don't want to get into a relationship because it's embarrassing that they're not interested. I mean, some men will see a woman and it's no different than seeing a tree or a mountain or a river. It's not something that excites them. That's a problem. And we need to work with them. They need to see sexual medicine doctors.
Solutions? Is there medication for this?
Yes. You can start with psychologic therapies.
don't be embarrassed. As we were mentioning before, this is much more common than you think. Try to find a sexual medicine physician in your area with some expertise and a sex therapist that can work with you and your partner.
Okay.
Certainly medications. We have drugs that raise dopamine, which is a precursor of excitement, raise oxytocin, lower serotonin. So things that can really help people, especially getting off medications that are causing this.
And I tell you, the embarrassment part is a big issue. So how do you initiate that conversation? How do you tell your partner, hey, maybe I'm having this issue, let's find a solution?
Often the woman drives the man to get it. Say, God, you got to go to see a doctor. This is affecting us.
Okay. It's very true. It's all about communication, and things will improve if you just talk about your issues. San Diego Sexual Medicine, Alvarado Hospital. As always, doctors, we thank you. All the information, how to get in touch with you guys and everything else is on fox5sandiego.com. Always enlightening. We thank you guys for coming this morning.
Thank you so much for everything you do.
Of course, of course. Erica, over to you.